Because I found that like someone like Harley really snapped me out. Helped me stay vegan. But
all right, welcome to the video. We're going to talk about Joe Rogan, game changers, ex-vegans, current vegans, vegan activism. We're going to get into it. My qualifications: vegan athlete, last 18 years, helped thousands of people succeed with vegan, get into vegan YouTube, built careers. Let's get onto it.
And I think that's the special bond hunters have with their food, their meat. I mean, specific.
So first of all, the hunter thing. How many hunters actually eat the animals they shoot and kill? You know, come on, they don't. I'd say it's a couple of percent at best. Most hunters here in Australia, if we use Australian reference, just going out there shooting anything that moves, wild ducks, blah blah blah. Now the hunter that goes out there and shoots feral pigs, feral camels, feral humans or whatever, and uses them for pet meat industry, etc., then I can see there's an environmental, sustainability aspect there for sure. Feral cats, etc., I can see that. But Joe Rogan's pretending, and this guy here, Cameron Haynes, pretending that the average American hunter were going out where shooting our breakfast with a if you're really an omnivore, carnivore, whatever you claim to be, put down the gun, put down the crossbow, pick up your hands, and catch your meat like a real omnivore does, all right? Then your argument will have more weight. Otherwise, you just drive in your SUV to the national park, pull out your 12 gauge, pull out your $2,000 crossbow you bought from Dick's sporting goods, shoot an animal, put it on Instagram, go, I'm a hunter, I'm Joe Rogan fanboy. Yeah, give me some testosterone injections, yeah.
Specifically,
yes.
that the guy who was aberrant, his comment, abhorrent, yeah, it's like, what are you talking about?
Well, he's a fool.
Yeah,
he was literally carving into a steak while he was saying that.
Right. So hunters have that connection, and
some hunters have it. Right? It's totally unnecessary in 2019 to eat animals for food, to shoot animals for food. Totally unnecessary. If you are going to, though, I agree. Go the feral animals if you believe that to be true.
I saw this video today. This is what drives me crazy, and I don't want to go back, rehash everything we've ever talked about. But I saw this video today. Who had it up? Anyway, these vegans were set up in front of this, I guess, where you get hamburgers.
Oh, that big guy bursting through the line?
Yeah. So when do hunters ever get confrontational and violent with people who don't want to eat meat?
Right. Well, here's the thing. When does a gang member get confrontational with someone who doesn't want to partake in gang? When does a gang member, when does someone from the Bloods and Crips go to Walmart out the front and pick fights with people who don't want to engage in gang membership? That never happens. Why would a hunter walk up to a group of vegans on the street and say, why don't you eat meat? That's probably unlikely. I mean, you go to a rodeo. If you go to a rodeo wearing a vegan t-shirt, hugging me, I'm vegan, you're probably going to get punched out. You're probably going to get spat at, and you'll probably have a lot of issues. So I disagree on this debate. Wear a vegan t-shirt, go to a rodeo. Simple as that.
Right.
When does that happen?
Well, they think somehow or another by blocking this burger stand that they're changing the world. They're just trying to be activists. They're trying to get a message out. And most of them will quit. They're going to quit veganism and they're going to start eating meat again because of their health.
Yeah.
That's the truth. It's some ridiculous number.
I agree. Joe Rogan's bang on with that. I agree. I've been vegan since 2001. I've seen a lot of people come and go. And I don't mean come and go as in have a bit of fish or eggs or meat or whatever here and there. I mean, people go, nah, I was vegan and I got so weak, I got so anemic, and I'll show you exactly what sort of diet they do to get there. This is the ex-vegan diet. We're here with my friend Joey Carbstrong, a bit of background about me and Joey. Got him into the vegan life, got him on YouTube, helped him with his first ever video, helped him monetize his account. I created the name Joey Carbstrong. His last name's Armstrong. We created the Carbstrong. And so this is a great example of Joey. His weight fluctuates a lot. He's obviously using a lot of prescription stims. You can see it in his eyes, and he's jittery, and his weight changes week to week. Lean, bigger, lean, it fluctuates so much. So no hate to Joey, just using him as an example of someone who starves down and then just watch what food he goes for first. He's made this omelet here. It's a low calorie omelet with soy and sugar-free ketchup. Joey actually thinks that sugar is bad for you, carbs are bad for you, but he's got the name Carb Strong. So he's eating a low-carb meal. What are these pancakes made out of? What sort of flour? What was it?
It's
chickpea flour or something?
Yeah,
okay.
Chickpea flour and oat fiber or something.
Yeah, so this is a vegan activist. Let's be honest, Joe's only vegan activist because the money he's making, he's cleaned up with the Patreon donations. If that was not there, he would be gone. So we've got a vegan activist, whose name's Carb Strong, who's eating carb-free pancakes to lose weight. So this is how stupid this is. Anyway, watch how fast Joey eats the food that represents the highest calories, and that'll be that omelette, even though it's low calorie. Watch how big the portion is he puts in his mouth. Watch this. Put some volume in here.
Amazing. Like I said,
look at Joey's eyes, man. He is just like skitting all over. If you watch this video, he's dropping lids. He's all over the shop. He's on Adderall or Ritalin or high dosage or whatever. He's definitely on the stims. Watch him eat this.
If you want to switch up any of this stuff for healthier options like tofu or tempeh is probably better than the vegan egg. But look how much.
Look how big that is on the fork. You know what I mean? Like it's like he's been in a starvation camp or whatever. Look how happy his face is. He's got this big chunk of food next to his face. He's dead hungry. He's been starving down.
Volume I get. Look at that on the inside of that sauce and.
Look at he's golfing it down like a grouper fish, like a groper fish shovels down a small shark. Look at him. I mean, it's just like.
And the vegan ham. People say, Joey, why do you eat product?
So he's just going for it. So watch this, So he's starving himself to get a little bit of definition, which he doesn't have anymore unless a few months later. So it's, it's just a really bad cycle to get into. It's very common in the vegan scene. Watch some of Joey's old videos, maybe he's still eating, but he's talking about doing his shredded diets where he just eats celery and bananas just to try and get shredded. And it's unsustainable if you're doing it low calorie, all right? So, yeah, this is Joey even... Joe and Joey. It's funny, isn't it? Even in 2016, I remember Joey telling me to my face, he was binging out. He said he just done a cleanse, and in Thailand, he was with me in Thailand, and he also bought anabolic steroids there as well, which I think he's pretty open about taking these days, which is another part of the video. We'll get to that. And so Joey's like, I came home and Mum had all these burgers, milkshakes, chocolate, everything, and I just, because he lived with his mum in Adelaide, and he's like, I had no control, just eating everything. And he was off his ping. He's like, if you ever meet Joey, he's just always like, and he's charging on pills. And I said, so vegan? And he's like, he saw his face went a bit red, and he's like, the Joey skiddy eyes, like, yeah, of course, yeah, vegan, man, vegan. And it's like, his mum doesn't eat vegan, like this, So he was fibbing a bit, which is fine. No punishment there, but I'm just saying that's a classic example of someone who wants to believe in the vegan thing, and he sort of gets it, but doing it for weight loss, blah, blah, blah. But when you get hungry, it doesn't matter what your ethics are with animals, your body's going to go, man, you can do your little ethics stuff, I need calories. So that's an example of the vegan activist, dude making vegan activist videos, eating animal products, just no control. And that's not because he's a bad person. It's just because he was so fucking hungry from starving himself. So these vegans out there doing the low carb or low sugar, Dr. Greger style, Whole Foods plant-based. I mean, join up Whole Foods plant-based Aussies in Australia. Go to their Facebook group. Just seriously join it up or join any Whole Food plant-based and see the struggles people have. And the turnover rate is insane. So Joe Rogan, I'll give you this one. You do win this point. It is true. Most vegans go low carb, they go low sugar, they go low rice, low fruit. Any sort of carb phobia, it's 321X vegan. We can use Tim Sheaf, we can use Bonnie Rebecca, Rilvana, which are the three YouTubers also got onto the vegan scene on YouTube. So I know all these people in person, I've seen their eating habits, and it's 321X vegan in the day, simple as that. Unless they're making a lot of money from it, like, Carb Strong probably wouldn't come out publicly because he's making a killing, talking to a few people a week on the street, making 10, 20 grand a month, Patreon donations, private donations, making it all secret as well. So it's a big money, and I like to expose it, not because I'm trying to bring anyone down, but just to point out the mistakes and the scams and the frauds out there in the vegan world. This is how it is. So Joe Rogan, I'll give you this point. Next one.
Google this. What number? I think they said the number of vegans and vegetarians that eat meat when they're drunk is something outrageous. It's like close to 90%.
I'd say that would be damn true because people are out all day. They're hungry as they're doing a Joey Carb Strong, maybe low carb diet. And Joey Carb Strong, low carb diet. It's like, what the fuck? That's just so stupid. That's like saying you're sober and then smacking back heaps of Ritalin and Adderall pills. It's like, no, mate, you're not sober. If you've gone from street speed to doctor's speed, you're still not sober, all right? Carb Strong, pay attention, bro. And so Joe Rogan, I'll give him this point as well. That's very, very true. People get hungry, get drunk, and eat whatever, which now is a lot better for people because you can go to Hungry Jack's or Burger King, get an Impossible Burger or Rebel Whopper or Domino's Pizza, do vegan options, KFC, do vegan options. It's easy and easy to eat vegan, for sure. But if people are hungry, they're drunk, standards drop. Simple as that, man. When you're drunk, your standards drop.
Would you like to show
Yeah. Well, no
But
kidding.
how many?
partner's meal?
What is this?
That's like chicken with a bit of lettuce in there.
All right, so Natasha's just showing me, this is Ravana. You know, I remember being Ravana, I think it was 2012 in New York at Union Square in front of Whole Foods. She's a super rich girl and she wanted to be famous like freely. And she's like, should I do YouTube? And I'm like, you can speak Spanish. There's a huge audience. She's like, really? And she's sort of being out of shape. And I'm like, you know, get on the bike. We've got her in shape. She started doing YouTube. She blew it up. And what's this now she's eating? She's eating...
It's lettuce and chicken.
So she's eating lettuce and chicken now. This is Ravana, who was like, you know... Again, she did a water fast with Doug Graham or someone. And it just, you know, got so hungry, got into the low sugar thing. See you later. When she's on the durianrider thing, she was doing well. But again, these people, they want more and more results. So they go more and more exclusive, restrictive, and then bang, they hit the wall. It's a bit like the flight of Icarus. The flight of Icarus. All right? You want to, don't go too high. The sun will burn your candles off your feet, your feathers off the wax, and then you'll crash in the ocean. Don't fly too low because the ocean will hit your little feather shoes and you'll drown. So just fly in the middle there. With the vegans, don't fly too high, breatharian, low carb, low sugar. Don't fly too low with too much fat. Fly in the middle, man. Carb the fuck up.
Oh, and sorry, someone
Sorry?
forgot to add. So we have a few stories later. She's got a fatty, rich dessert there.
Yeah, yeah,
She's
make up for the
obviously
calories.
hungry as fuck.
Yeah, and that's probably super sweet. So, you know, date with myself.
And like, is that dairy cream or what?
Who knows? You know, so it's sad. It's just these people who were on the right path. The same with Bonnie Rebecca, Tim Sheaf. They were on the right path, follow my advice, carbon up, and then they just stop for whatever reason. Maybe it's not the trend or whatever, or they want, you know, faster results or whatever. So they get sucked into these little shortcut things like Carb Strong's doing with these low carb, Carb Strong low carb. Should be called Joe Low Carb Week. You know, and then they're getting the stimulants, the coffee, the Ritalin, the Adderall. And I've taken Ritalin before, I've taken caffeine before. That's shit, man. That'll fuck up your gut, fuck up your brain if you take it every day. If you're gonna use those stuff, use it maybe once a week. But you're using it every day, especially if you're an unstable person to begin with, bad recipe. If you've got any digestive issues, don't take stims. Too much acid in the gut. SIBO, bro. SIBO. Let's go.
How many vegans wind up quitting and eating meat? I wonder if they've ever done a study on that.
This is like a big thing because, you know, there's been a movement, sort of a movement, and people have different success rates with being a vegan. But Cam Newton, who is a quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, big dude, 6'6", 250, 260, he went vegan and he cannot get healthy. He's been injured.
Okay, come on. Like this NFL player can't get healthy. All right, there's a difference between being injured because you've broken a leg, got hit by a truck, or you had a bad tackle, to healthy being low hemoglobin, whatever. All right, I bet you check this guy's bloods, this Cam NFL linebacker guy. I bet his bloods would be good, but he's had horrific injuries. And if you go to the NFL or soccer and you Google up all the players that have been injured or whatever, like, it's huge, man. It's a bit like saying, you know, the winner of the Tour de France this year, Egan Bernal, who ate a mostly vegan diet. Let's say he crashed his bike, and the comments are, he broke both his legs. You know, if he ate meat, he wouldn't have broken them. It's like, come on, man, he crashed at 90k an hour. Like, so it's just a poor argument. It's so saying if you break your legs and you eat meat, it's because of bad luck. But if you're an NFL player and you break your legs getting tackled, it's because you're a vegan. It's like, what about that UFC player, UFC fighter, who broke his leg in half a few years ago? The meat eater guy, the keto guy. You know, so it's like, come on. Poor argument, man. Can't get healthy. It's like, is 250 pounds getting tackled by other steroid-using 250-pound players? Like, that shit, that sport's horrific. I can imagine the injury rates would be insane. It'd be such a high turnover.
I mean, the face of the franchise, probably $100 million contract. I mean, made it to the Super Bowl, but since just been on a decline, and it's like almost hand in hand with the change into vegan.
Well, you know that guy.
What about all the other players and what the Titans and the Game Changers and all this? Yeah, I think this is,
Dr. Sean Baker, he's the advocate of that.
Sean Baker. I mean, it's funny that Sean Baker, Joe Rogan even calls out Sean Baker's bullshit claim where he just eats meat. Baker is such a sociopath. He claims he just eats meat. We know that's BS. Recently had Tim Sheaf on the show, and you see how puffy Tim Sheaf's face is. Remember when Tim Sheaf did his little water fast last year, and I said it's going to be a bad idea. Tim Sheaf's going to fail on the vegan wagon, and people were like, "I'm like, Harley, you're like the vegan Nostradamus. How did you know this?" I'm like, I'm an athlete. I'm a vegan athlete since 2001. I was an athlete before that. I know what works. I don't know what doesn't work. I know what's sustainable, what's not. Tim Sheaf did the water fast, and I counted it down, man. I counted it down. So his face going to get really puffy. He's going to be an ex-vegan. And I was freaking right.
A carnivore diet. He marks all these people that were originally in that Game Changers
There's Tim Sheaf, the space cadet.
documentary that James Cameron put out.
Yeah.
A shit ton of them quit before the movie came out, and they had to pull them out.
A shit ton? Tim Sheaf.
Out of the movie because they were vegan, and because of health reasons they had to quit.
Right.
Tim quit because he starved himself, man. He should quit starving himself. Tim, quit starving, bro.
Indoctrination movie, and it's extremely biased, and it's not focused.
It is biased, and everything's biased. Joe Rogan's biased towards killing animals. I'm biased towards saving animals. We're all biased, man. There's no human that's not biased. Family bias, professional bias, or religious bias, or personal belief bias, or personal preference bias. We are all biased. I try not to be too biased and just give people all the facts. That's what I talk about. Steroids, crazy vegans, crazy paleo. I try and just put all the information out there and to give people that honest template that no one else is doing. Everyone's brown-nosing each other on YouTube to try and get more shout-outs and hits and whatever, collabs and that. I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to give people the transparency because nobody's doing that. All right? Nobody's doing that in the vegan scene. People claim that or whatever. It's like, no one's doing that. People are like, bullshit. Even Vegan Gains, he did a pretty good response to this, but Vegan Gains is a bullshitter as well. I mean, look at the shit he said about me last year in the videos, what he said about me. So Vegan Gains is just a total fraud in that aspect, trying to be like, Mr. Clarity or whatever, but he's bullshit as well. So anyway, I try and be the change you want to see. So we've all got a bias to a degree, but sometimes it's good to limit the bias so we can really help people.
Focusing on all of the various problems that people have. It's only focused on the positive aspects of it and distorting the reality of those positive messages, particularly like the strong man who's on a fuckload of steroids.
Yeah, Joe, that's 100% true. And I've taken steroids before, and I've been pretty very, very transparent about that. Videos, stuff like that, millions of views. But Joe, you're also on steroids as well. You know what I mean? I can just tell by your body you're on steroids, and I'm pretty sure you're open to it as well. I'm pretty sure you'd taken more than TRT, and that's fine. But we can't say that he's on steroids, but we're on steroids. And also, all the strongmen are on steroids. All the Tour de France riders at the top are on gear. All the UFC fighters at the top are on gear. All the swimmers winning gold medals at Olympics are on gear. Vegan or not, they're all on steroids. Everybody is on fucking steroids at the top, all right? And Instagram, YouTube, people on TikTok doing steroids to get swole. Like, it's just, we live in a steroid culture, all right? Even Carbstrong's on steroids to get his little transformations, and that's fine. My issue is when people lie about it, and that's sociopathic. So, tilt of the hat, head, thumbs up to Joe Rogan for being honest about him taking steroids. That's great. He's not one of these sociopaths like Sean Baker who lies about it, etc. Or even some of the vegan guys out there who obviously aren't taking steroids. Like, no, I'm not taking anything. It's like, come on, man. Like, no one you train looks like you. You're on steroids. As simple as that. And that's fine. But just, and I understand when people lie about it because if you're honest, you make less money. Joe Rogan isn't in a situation, he's not in a situation where if he's lying about steroids, it will help him. He can be totally honest about it. He's a podcaster, so people aren't, buying his diet, which is what is Joe Rogan's diet. we'll cut the video. This video's getting a bit long, but we'll cut over here. And Joe's makes some other remark about environmentalism and stuff, man. Just look how much grain is fed to livestock. Look how much land is cleared for livestock. It's way more than any plant foods, all right? We'll go to Joe Rogan. His diet is low carb. All right, so what to eat? Meat, vegetable, black coffee. Eating black coffee. It must be a lot of carb. Avocados, eggs, kimchi. What to avoid? Bread, pasta, soda, fruit juice, sugars, grains. Bruce Lee. What did Bruce Lee eat the most? All right. Now, Bruce Lee doesn't look like he's on any steroids. I would say, I wouldn't put my life on it, but I would strongly say Bruce Lee, he looks very natty, very small, very skinny. Just a typical Asian karate, Jeet Kune Do, kickboxer physique. He looks pretty natty to me. Maybe he uses a bit of Anavar to get a bit more cut for the production. Maybe. But he does look very natty. And you tell by his, his markers there. But what did Joe Lee? Bruce Rogan is eating a high carbohydrate, low fat diet. All right. So Bruce Lee, famous for his rice consumption. So simple as that. So Joe Rogan says carbs are bad, make you fat. Joe Rogan takes a shit ton of steroids, not even lean. And Bruce Lee over here. So that's just the deal. I think that's pretty much the main points I wanted to refute in here. I think that Joe Rogan, it's if he had me on his podcast, he would never do that because, I'd destroy it. Just like Vegan Gains would never put me on his debate because I'd destroy him in any debate about nutrition. Same with Joe Carbstrong, all these fake vegans out there who are just in the vegan scene to make cash and who wouldn't help out any noobs like I help them out. So that's just the reality. It's not being bitter. It's just there's people out there in the vegan scene who I feel are very toxic. There's people out there in the podcast scene who are also full of shit, like Joe Rogan, etc. Contradicting himself all the time. Let's have a look at the supplements that Joe Rogan takes. What was he just selling? So we got fitness. What about contact? Where's the what is he selling here? Supplements. Here we go. So this is all the stuff that Joe Rogan sells. All these multivitamins and stuff, and I'm totally fine with it. But if you're going to claim that the meat diet is superior, if you can't say that vegans are bad, look at the vitamins vegans take. Like, bro, look at the stuff you're taking. Joe Rogan's, I've even heard him say, D3, vegans don't get D3. It's like, what's going on here? You're taking D3, Joe. I thought you get it from the meat. Black coffee, like mad stims. Joe Rogan's a big fan of black coffee. I'll be a fan of black coffee too if I was doing low carb. I've had a cup of coffee since 1999. I use stimulants a few times a year. Maybe like a marathon or when I'm going really fast and I want to go that extra little 0.5% difference. Omega-3, omega-6. Jade takes this stuff. And take it if you want. But, so all these things that he takes, so it's interesting stuff. Goal setting, yeah, I agree with that. Lifelong learning, agree with that. So, anyway, there's nothing about steroids in here though. So, it's... Here we go. Related post. Bruce Lee. All these people look like okay, so we've got Bruce Lee, natural. Connor definitely would have used steroids. Jason definitely used steroids. Jared Leto looks natty. The Rock, steroids. Chris Evans, don't know who that is. So all this stuff. The best supplements for muscle guides. Is this even Joe Rogan now? I think they're just using Joe Rogan's name. But I'm not sure. Anyway, that's the deal. I know Joe Rogan is into the stims, yeah, but the supplements, etc. So that's some little critique there. Just if you want to succeed in anything in life, then you have to know who is bullshitting you, who is just a fake guide, who is just doing, whatever for money, etc. Who would disappear if there was no money. Vegan Gains would disappear overnight. Joey Carbstrong would disappear overnight if the money was taken out of the vegan scene. Me, I was doing this stuff way before money ever came into YouTube. So, as simple as that, man. It's, some people out there who just don't give a fuck about anything other than getting some abs and eating whatever, taking whatever to get there, and just lying to people, social climbing, narcissistic, sociopathic behavior. So if you're going to take advice from people about health and nutrition, then be careful, who you listen to. And I know a lot of the viewers out there in their 20s, and when I was in my 20s, it's hard to tell who's fake, who's a sociopath, and who's actually legit. Now at age 42, I finally understand a bit better. But maybe 2 or 3 or 5 years ago, I didn't have a clue who I was letting into my life and who was toxic, whatever. Now, a bit more discerning. So anyway, that's the deal there. You got any comments or questions down below, hit us up. The Joe Rogan Game Changers debunked partly. We'll do some more videos in this one. You got any questions, hit us up down below. Peace. Carb the fuck up. Never limit your fruit or your rice or your sugar if you want to be a hardcore vegan athlete. Like all these footy players out there, NFL guys, they're smashing the carbs, the rice, the sugar, the fruit. Ain't holding back. You ain't 250 pounds on gear holding back on your sugar. You are smashing it, man, or you will get smashed. Simple as that. Thanks.
Carbs, carb the fuck up, motherfuckers. Carb the fuck up. Corn, rice, potatoes, yams, bananas, mangoes, dates, plantain, melons, blueberries, blackberries, mulberries. Get them motherfucking carbohydrates in. Go vegan, motherfuckers. Carb the fuck up, the fuck up, the fuck up, the fuck up.